Greetings, everybody, and welcome to another edition of In Another League. And don't expect this to be anywhere near as exciting or fantastic as the others because it's just been that kind of race. So, let's just get into things. As you'll recall from last time, I had a fairly good race there despite how it started out. You know, coming off of the first one where I got a top 5 unclassified, and then here I am in the second race, now classified as an AM, with an AM victory. So, a pretty good start to the season, all things considered. Of course, at that point, that's as good as it was going to get. Because the next race would be nowhere near as good as this. So, prepare for a bit of a downer. So, the second of the endurance races is at the Nürburgring. Now, yeah, I got a pole position and 5th in AM overall, but that's as good as it gets for this race because the start and the weather is just beyond atrocious. So, off the line there, I'm going, and I'm on alternate tires because with the weather that we were shown, I was expecting it to come down hard, and I knew I was going to be slow, so I tried to get out of everybody's way. Apparently, I wasn't out of the way enough, because then I absolutely got bombed hard. Far up, even. So it turns out that behind me was lagging around, and I got quite the big dive, and got knocked out of the way. This also meant that the McLaren behind didn't have much way to go, so therefore I experienced one of these. And so that would set the tone of the race. And that's pretty much all it would be. So expect a lot of skipping and cutting here because it really just was not that interesting or worth looking at. And of course, I gained positions only through other people's misfortunes. For example, Ants here in this AM Aston Martin there. And so instantly, that was a 15th. The other position I gained was mostly through the generosity of Randy, who is in this third Mercedes in the season, so that's 3 in the field. And he would just let me right on by there. And that would be a 14th. Which later on, when I would go with the pit trying to take advantage, this newcomer here also had a bit of a mishap, so that gave me another position. And yeah, I got across the commitment line, so it's not like it doesn't matter, and you'll soon see why. But anyway, came in, got tires, tried to again do the whole get ahead of everybody on the weather thing. And of course at the Nürburgring, it's a bit of a pain in the ass to do because the dry line is just so stupidly stubborn and stupidly specific in places. Like, it just does not function all that well as a good dry line. Like, God forbid this would be if this were at the Nordschleife, because this is just ridiculous. And I can't really go all that fast at all. Like, I still have to very much pedal it. The drag would dry up significantly enough eventually, and the guy I was catching up with, well, is the one that spun me around. Now at the time, I was frustrated, I was angry, I was pretty much apocalyptic. So seeing the car that got into me, and me catching up with it was, well, I had no good thoughts. None. Closer and closer, it got harder and harder to restrain myself from wanting to just throw him off the track, put him into the wall, do the most atrocious things necessary, because that's how wrong I felt at the time. But got on the brakes there, there was a little bit of lacking there, and there was almost a temptation to just finish him off right then and there. But I just tried to be calm about it, just battle for position, and I would end up getting around pretty much on the way there. Got out to go, Unfortunately, I may have celebrated that a little bit too soon, because going to the one, I completely overcooked the corner. And it was back to trying to get by him again, also while once again having to work around that lag that was just so present there. It's kind of been a running theme with this guy, is lag. Now thankfully I got by, but that's about as good as it got when it came to passes. Of course, it would come raining down again, so I pit in, get new tires, try to get ahead of that. And the weather was once again being stupid as usual. Now, it did dry up later on, but then, just as it was getting to that point, it was starting to come around. Now, I tried again, see if I could squeeze out a few more laps, just before doing it the last minute. However, I didn't realize pit road was already wet, and so off I went. And then came my genius moment where I, for some reason, decided, let's back up and pit in, and guess how that went.
I think he could be a massive idiot.
And with that, that was pretty much my race. Just ended right there. No point even showing anything else, because 11th was about as much as I was going to get. And even that was insignificant, because it turns out I ran the wrong specs for both this and the spa race. So I was disqualified from both the results, which meant I have no wins, and Nürburgring was meant nothing anyway, so that might as well never have happened for me. So, yeah. Absolute garbage. So that's it for this. If you somehow enjoy this, then give it a like, and if you do want to see more of these, hopefully not in a downer, then subscribe, as I will be making those videos. Anyhow, that's it for me, and I will see you in the next video.